Chapter 24. The beach fire was surrounded by a large group. One who was in the center of the fire pit facing the beach. It was arguably the best position to watch the beast as it slithered toward them, squirming against the sand's soft granularity. To his right was the Whisperer, and to his left was Obsidian. Joe and Soin were on either side, near the ends of the fire pit. The beast crawled more than walked. She was, however, graceful in her crawling, given her weight and the sand's depths. She used her wings to support herself as she got into position, facing the fire with her back to the sea. Oriel and Alter initially perched on the ends of the fire pit next to Joe and Soin. Shortly after they landed, Alter had transitioned into her servitor form. Alter cleared her throat after she completed her transition.
I will offer my services as a guide through this conversation. I will translate for, I'm sorry,
Alter said, turning to the beast and translating her words into Sea Dragon.
I don't even know your name.
You may refer to me as Alaim. My real name is too complicated for any of you to pronounce.
Alim is good,
Alter announced.
So, let's get started.
She glanced at Alaim.
What would you like to say? I can make introductions, I
don't need you to do anything. Just translate so we can understand one another. That is all. Can I speak through you?
Adam and Eve can. I presume what they can do, you can do.
Release yourself then, and I will do the rest.
Alter took a deep breath. Everyone watched as she closed her eyes. There was a moment of anticipation that they were about to hear the words of the beast, a creature that was more exotic than any creature they had ever seen. It was, at least to Joe's eyes, larger and more forbidding than even Obsidian.
You may call me Alaim. I am the one who knows who I truly am. I am God in this world. Like you, I have come to this planet for a purpose, but unlike you, my purpose is known to me.
One who stirred uneasily.
We know our purpose as well, and it is presumptuous of you to assume otherwise.
And tell me, werewolf, what is your purpose?
We are caretakers of the land. We consider the planet to be a being of the highest order, and we are its caretakers. In a sense, we are its arms and legs.
Very poetic and very wrong. Let me enlighten you,
Alaim said.
You are animals who have lived on this planet for eons. You are a part of this planet in the same way as that tree or this sand. The rest of us here, we came from other planets, other worlds, quite unimaginable to you. We are not your enemies, but rather your salvation. Your ways are full of struggle and strife. Do you not war with other tribes? Do you not struggle to find food? If you were the arms and legs of this planet, would that be true?
The Whisperer leaned to the ear of one who nodded.
I am reminded that you have only been here a short time. You have, as a result, a very ignorant perspective. I will tolerate only one more of your insults. After which, we will leave and prepare for war, if that is the preamble you came to deliver. We are small in comparison to you, but only physically. In every other dimension where power is exerted, we are much larger. I assure you of this fact.
Perhaps this vehicle I use to communicate with you is defective, in some way I cannot detect. I meant no insult, only to correct your perception of us, who have so recently emerged on your planet.
Why do you lump us together?
Soin asked. Alaim turned to Soin, staring at him for a long time.
Are we not united in our arrival to this planet?
It is a possibility.
Soin replied.
It is an equal possibility that we are not, given your namesake, Alaim, is that of a god who claims to know everything. And while I cannot speak on behalf of all my friends here, none of us have claimed this all-knowing state. Thus, on this very important distinction, we are not united.
Alaim hummed or grumbled. It was not known, but the sound came from Alaim, not Alter. It felt like a very distant thunder that kept rolling and rolling.
Perhaps I should use a different name that does not have any associations that could distract you. As I told the servitor, my real name is unpronounceable to any of you. I simply selected the name Alim as it was simple to pronounce.
So, you do not really profess to be God, but rather a god, like a messenger.
Someone asked with a rhetorical tone.
I am the highest order creature on this planet. Is that not the definition of a god?
And what makes you the highest order?
Elaine retracted her head slightly. Even Alter blinked spasmodically.
I am the strongest, smartest, fastest, wisest of any of you. Do you doubt this?
How fast can you run?
Joe asked.
Or fly.
Obsidian added.
How many digits of pi can you recite?
Joe asked, his voice slightly a tremble.
Or do you know how many atoms exist in this universe?
Obsidian said, with thick sarcasm.
If you are challenging me to a race, then come with me to the sea, and I will gladly race you.
No.
Joe said, shaking his head.
All we're saying is that you forgot to qualify your statement of superiority. You want us to be in awe of you and worship you, to see you as our God. And we neither see you as superior to us or in any way deserving of our worship. We see only one connection, and that is that we came to this planet unknowingly. That is the only connection we share. Perhaps we should start there,
Joe said, his voice tentative, searching.
Maybe, together, we could solve that mystery.
For you, your purpose here is unknown.
Alim said.
For me, I am keenly aware of mine. In that distinction flows all of the other differences between us.
And why is that?
One who asked.
I was already a god on my previous planet. Thus, I am a god on this planet. As a god, I am accorded the privileges of being worshipped. All that means, at least to me, is that my subjects are aligned with my purpose and follow it precisely every single moment they are alive. When they transition from this world, they can worship anything but me, and I will not care. However, for as long as you are on this planet, my purpose is your purpose.
Well then,
Soin said drewly.
by all means, please tell us our new purpose, or your purpose. They are, after all, according to you, the same thing.
Alaim glanced at Soin. Alter remained close-eyed and perfectly still.
My purpose upon this planet is to align all sentient beings under me. I will be the Queen Mother of all beings, and those who are sentient possess a will. That is my definition of a sentient being. With that will, they will sacrifice it for me in a deliberate display of their worship. Once this alignment is achieved, the planet will become an extension of our collective will, focused like a laser beam upon one purpose: expansion.
Expansion? Where?
Soin asked. Alaim waved her wings as high as they could reach, but her voice came through Alter's mouth.
An expansion of my consciousness.
How?
If sentience upon a planet is aligned, it can then become one with the planet. And when this occurs, the planet is finally alive. Truly alive. Its consciousness lives in all of us.
And you're saying that the only way sentient creatures, willful creatures, to use your definition, can become aligned on this planet is to accept the will of your purpose as their own.
Exactly.
Alter remained still as she spoke, but there was an emphasis imparted on that one word.
You are an excellent listener.
Alaim observed.
Why is there only one way to achieve this, and it happens to involve everyone worshipping you? I mean, technically, couldn't I assert the same thing?
Soin asked, his arms out like the first branches of an oak tree.
That you are a god?
Alaim asked, chuckling.
Were you a god in your previous world?
Yes, I was.
Ah, and what powers do you possess to prove yourself a god?
I was among the first of my species to be both an individual identity. Understanding my individual identity was fragmented into an infinite variety of life forms. but it still remains an amalgam of these life forms. And this amalgam is interwoven into a larger context we call the inner life of love's intelligence. That is the purpose we serve. And I did not consider myself to be God. I consider myself to be a part of God, and as a part, I am a God within a greater God. And for all I know, that greater God is a part of an even greater God, and it just keeps going without a beginning or an end.
An enchanting story,
Elaine mused.
yet, if that is the sum of your powers, to know that, then I would tell you right now, you will not align with the creatures of this planet. They need to see power in their God, and what you have just described sounds like the opposite of power. It is pure philosophical abstraction, the kind that can neither be proven nor disproven. My powers, on the other hand, can be proven. They are indisputable. Watch.
She leaned her head back, facing the stars, and opened her gaping mouth. Her belly suddenly became aglow with reds and yellows. She then took a deep breath and released a fire stream that reached hundreds of meters into the sky. It was impressive beyond anyone's imagination. It lit up the entire beach, its white sand suddenly alive in the night air, held in a golden light that pushed out the dark with sure arms. When she was finished, she studied the faces of her anticipated subjects.
Do you see the difference? Philosophy and power.
One who was the first to gather himself to speak.
Impressive, to be sure. But if you end up killing half the creatures on this planet before the rest worship you, you have only death and obedience and the fear that supports it. Your power is not vital or renewable. It is stale, hollow, and certain to implode. Intelligent beings will see that. You, because of your powers, will always be counterbalanced. It is the way of this world. There is too much intelligence here for the likes of you.
Elaine cocked her head slightly.
Do you consider the sea dragons intelligent creatures?
One who sighed as if he knew the chess move that Aleem had just played.
I have only met two, Adam and Eve, and yes, they do seem intelligent. And oh, they are also exiled because they didn't choose to worship you.
The sea dragons are highly intelligent creatures. All but two have agreed to my purpose. They will undertake my purpose with great willpower because it is collective willpower. If we end up vanquishing half of the sentient creatures of this planet, but the other half are all aligned, what do we care? Everyone has free will. As I said before, it is a trait of sentience. Those that remain, my loyal subjects, they will rebuild this planet, and this planet will be alive through my expansion.
And once it is alive, at the terms of your cost, what then?
Soen asked.
We will begin to interact with other planets,
For what purpose?
to align sentience in our galaxy.
And then what?
Aleem smiled.
When we get there, we'll determine that.
And how long do you think that will take? Millions, billions, trillions of years?
Soen asked.
Yes, it will take a long time to manifest such a high purpose. What is your point?
And how long will you live?
As a god,
As whatever you are?
I am an infinite being. I will live forever.
Soen pointed at Aleem.
In that body?
No. I will occupy other bodies. I will be like the phoenix there. I will die and then be reborn into another body. The body is always temporal. But what is me, the god inside, that will never die?
Soen smiled.
And every time you occupy another body, in another space-time, among another generation of worshippers, do you think your purpose will go on as you state it today?
Aleem turned to Soan. It was the first time that evening that she had hesitated in her answer.
Why wouldn't it?
Because everything evolves. A grain of sand, that tree, even this fire, it evolves. Evolution is just another word for change, or inertia, or the cycle of birth, life, death, integration, and transformation. You cannot step into the same moment twice in the same space-time, and space-time is what determines your moment of experience, and your moment of experience will never be the same. Whatever it is you believe your highest purpose is, in another space-time, another body, you will not feel the same way or hold the same beliefs. Your presumed continuity is the fairy tale that power has always told itself. But the higher purpose, if it requires space-time, will change. Even the highest purpose of all creaturehood is subject to change, because all known domains consist of space-time. The rules, or laws of space-time, change between domains. It does not mean that one domain has space-time and another does not. It is simply different, and in some instances, it is so different that space-time seems to have evaporated, but it is always present. And in this presence, all that is, in all of the infinite versions of space-time, evolves. That thing that encompasses everything is the only hand that writes the highest purpose.
Sowen smiled to himself.
The rest of us, we live as agents of this hand, whether we are aware of it or not.
He looked up into the face of Elaine.
Are you so sure that what you profess today will not change tomorrow or in your next lifetime? Openness in the moment is the only path I have found that leads to what you are in your deepest core. And isn't that what you want your followers, your subjects, to experience?
You are as insolent as you are persistent.
Alayim remarked, and then turned to Obsidian.
It is becoming obvious to me that you, Soin, are more of a threat than this dragon, and you are that much easier to vanquish. Are you offering yourself as a sacrifice?
We cannot worship anything or anyone. How does a part of a god worship the whole of a god? Is it not better to live in the simple memory of who you are? Yet, what you are offering is not a memory. It is a new object to pursue, and you want everyone who possesses free will to pursue the object you have defined as true. And of all the purposes one could fulfill, this purpose is the highest, or so you say.
Sowen paused for a tiny sliver of a moment.
We make no sacrifice. You want to be an idol. Idols are fixed. They are carved into stone and covered in gold leaf, and they sit unadorned with anything but worship and admiration from those who operate in fear and ignorance of their memory. You can be an idol or a god. It does not matter to us. But do not ask us to worship you, and especially do not compel us to do so.
Then you will resist me.
Elaine stated plainly.
You have chosen sides, and regrettably, the side you have chosen not only for yourself, but those you seek to influence, is the side that will be vanquished.
So, your highest purpose is wrought through bloodshed and destruction.
Sowen said, equally plain.
If it is necessary in service to this highest purpose, then yes. What I don't understand is your stubborn resistance to expansion. That beautiful sense that we, the collective will, are expanding, and you are a part of that. Isn't that exactly what you seek as well?
Your form of expansion is the expansion of your powers, not ours. As your powers expand, ours contract. We become the enablers of your expansion, placing our own in reserve, in stasis, in some form of hibernation. That is resolutely not what we seek. You have threatened us. You have sought war where there was no compliance to your beliefs and theories. You have shown your power in equal parts to your ignorance, and we have no doubt that you will continue to do so if you are not shown how our resistance will make you uncomfortable and question your very nature and purpose.
One who cleared his throat and shifted in his sitting posture.
I have listened to all these words crossing the flames like boats carrying cargo. I have heard not a single word that is grounded in things like food, survival, and day-to-day survival. You, Alim, are asking us to let you be our government, our lord, our spiritual advisor, our all-powerful leader who can wage war or peace at the wave of their hand. You want to usurp our ways that have evolved over thousands of generations, and you ask us in such a casual and presumptive way that I have this overwhelming desire to crush you, and yet I can't. You have scales and fire to protect you. You are massive in every way. The laws of physics undoubtedly favor you. Yet I tell you this.
One who pounded his fist into the sand.
You will fail if you try to expand into werewolf culture, our lands, our system of self-government. You will fail not because you are weak, but because war with us will prove to all of your followers that you are fallible, and gods are never fallible.
With that, one who stood to his feet with some difficulty.
I have already lost my wife to your kind. There is nothing more I have to lose. I have no fear, and if I have no fear, all who follow me will have no fear. 100,000 fearless werewolves will be an enemy that you cannot imagine. We either live in peace separately, or we spill blood together until you are rendered powerless and your higher purpose is forgotten, to even your most ardent subjects.
One who looked deeply into the eyes of Alim.
And then what will your higher purpose be, huh?
Alim's belly brightened with deep oranges and yellows. The glow was an unmistakable prelude to an expulsion of fire. The only question was where it would be aimed. Obsidian lurched forward a bit, his own belly glowing.
If you intend to incinerate anyone here, I will make sure you roast all the way as you waddle to the sea.
Alim seemed to gain control of her emotional response, and the glow from her belly softened.
I was not going to incinerate anyone,
She said, backing up and turning to the sea.
I was simply warming my body for the journey home. You are obviously not aligned with my purpose. I will decide in the days ahead how to respond, and rest assured, I will respond.
With that, Alim crawled through the deep sands to the water's edge, and as she was half submerged in the calm water, she looked back.
Are you coming, Alter?
Everyone turned to see Alter awaken as if a dream had ended abruptly, and she needed to assess which world she was truly in. She squinted in Alim's direction.
What? What did you ask?
Are you coming with me?
I will stay here for a while and follow later, if that is acceptable.
The lumbering giant mass glided into the sea, submerging with the same grace afforded swans. There was a heavy silence that hung over them all as they watched Alim submerge. There was a sense of relief that she was gone, but there was an equal sense of concern that her response would not be peaceful.